Hey guys, Sandy here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to 30 Days of Sketches. Today is, I think it's the 11th. Today is the 11th, and we are going to be using this sketch right here, which was made by Kathy Price. Has 3 photos, some diagonal elements. I have 3 photos, and I have my never-ending kit. Now, I was going to use my mixed media background that I made on Sunday night, and I can't find it, and the room isn't even a travesty, you guys. Like, it's not a wreck. I thought it was this, but this paper is white. So, unless my mixed media ran away, yeah, I don't know where it is. So, we're gonna use this photo, my kit, or these photos, I should say, and my kit. So, let's see what I can do. All right, guys, so I am going to start out with this black and white striped paper, and this has been in my kit since the first iteration where it was in April. And then I went ahead and grabbed this Simple Stories paper. Now, this floral paper was added to the kit when I was on retreat. There's a lot of paper left in the kit from retreat, but fun fact, that's not what I meant to say. What I was trying to get across was that there was a good amount of paper in the kit. However, what was left in the kit came mostly from retreat. That was the thought I was trying to get across. I did a really poor job of getting that out there though, didn't I? Yeah, so there is that. I went ahead and decided to have some torn corners to kind of, use that torn edge. I couldn't in the sketch. I couldn't exactly tell if it was a torn edge or paper or mixed media. I wasn't exactly sure what the intent behind it was, but honestly, those are the best kind of sketches because you can use your creativity and just come up with whatever the heck you really want to do, right? Like you got no boundaries, guys. You can do whatever the heck you want. Technically, you can do whatever the heck you want when the sketch calls out things in a very detailed manner. But I feel like the more ambiguous sketches, they kind of get the creative juices flowing a little bit better, which makes sense because I am a do what I want kind of person. So when I'm given that kind of jumping off point to do what I want, great. It's just great for me. Now, if you were hearing some weird noise, sorry about that. The door kept going off, and I decided that I needed to see why it was going off. And then got the package, put it away, that kind of thing. Don't know what it was. It's a package for Christopher, but when the door goes off multiple times, you're like, what in the world is going on here, man? So I also went ahead and decided to have these 3 photos cut down into 4x4 squares. And I'm going to kind of move them around. Originally thought I was going to use that hunk of snow in the selfie of us together and then have the big kind of landscape photo down here at the bottom. Ultimately, guys, I didn't like it. I just wasn't feeling it to be like completely honest and completely real there. Just not a thing that I felt really looked good. Does that make sense? It just felt like it was bad. And I know that sounds terrible, but it did. It felt like it was bad. So there is that. So I went ahead and got the photos down to 4x4 squares. Much happier with them that way. Really just pleased as punch, actually. And I only had 2 sheets of that 6x6 paper that I was using to go ahead and, I just found it. I just found my mixed media background. It was tucked into the album share layout that I did yesterday. I was putting it away just now and found the layout. And luckily, while I was putting the album on the shelf, the mixed media kind of popped out the bottom. Otherwise, I would have put that album away, and who in the world knows when I ever would have found the mixed media background. But I found it. So yay, there is that. We're winning, guys. We are winning today. Anyway, boy, this voiceover is kind of all over the place, huh? So, what was I saying? Oh, I pieced together to make a photo mat for the one photo, and you really can't tell. It's not a big deal, so I'm not stressing about it. I'm completely fine with how this turned out. I thought I was going to be able to use up all of the stickers off that sticker sheet, but I got one more left. Every day is a blessing. I mean, it's better than the alternative. So every day is a blessing didn't really feel like it was appropriate for this layout. I figured it's going to be okay. Was perfect because this was our U-Haul trip up I-5 from California to Washington. It was a trek, let me tell you. So I'm going to create a little cluster down here on the black and white striped kind of corners, and then I'm going to do that up on the top as well. Now this took me a good hunk of time to get this done. This layout actually took longer than I like for what it was. It doesn't feel like it's a very involved layout. Like I'm not fussy cutting anything. I'm not mixed media-ing anything. I'm not really popping anything up. There's no... It feels very straightforward to me. But for some reason, like the choices were just not firing in my brain real quickly. So this is sped up about 3 times right now instead of my normal 2. And I just don't know. Like I feel like sometimes the brain is not firing as well as you want it to. Especially today. I got up at 3:30 this morning to be at work at 4:30. It was our big order delivery day that happens weekly, and I am training my assistant manager to compete for the store manager role, and it is one of the things that I wanted just her to have access to and see and do and see how that kind of turned out. So there is that. Now, when I did my training, my store manager trainer did not come in at 4:30 in the morning with me. She had me do it with other people. But, you know, I decided to schedule it with mine. So we could go over things, and if she had any questions, and talk about FIFOing and all the things, and dating and expirations and inventory and all the things. So it was a thing. Right? I decide that I am going to use some of these stickers. This cluster up here is giving me a little bit of indigestion, right? Like I'm feeling like it's not exactly where I want it to be. I feel like it's missing a layer. I'm not exactly sure how to rectify that. So I'm flipping through. I'm finding a color that I think will work. I decide on this teal box, this label sticker. These are meant for planners, you guys. They are super thin stickers. However, I find them really easy to use on scrapbook pages. If I'm concerned with how thin they are and the transparency of them, because they are slightly transparent, so they're a little translucent, right? If I'm concerned with that, I'm popping those bad boys on some white cardstock first, and that gives it that solid base behind it, so you're not going to see the stripes and things underneath. I wasn't too terribly concerned with that today. I kind of like the colors that are popping through and a little bit of texture. Because again, to me, there's not a lot going on with this layout. There's not a lot of lump. There's not a lot of bump. This is very paper on paper on paper. Even my chipboard stickers are quite thin. My puffy stickers are quite thin. I think the thickest thing that goes on here are going to be some letters, and there's some thicker letters, so you know they're not very thick at all. It's just not feeling extra, right? And I don't mean that in a bad way, because I really do like the layout. I love the way it turned out. I love the way it looks. It doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of lump and bump to it, but I'm good with it. But for some reason, this layout just did not make my creative choices easy. But that's okay, right? Like sometimes layouts come together and you're like, ah, chef's kiss, it's perfect and I did it so quickly. And then sometimes the layout takes a while and you're like, yeah, it's good, I like it, and it's done and I'm moving on. And then you can do a layout quick that you hate, or you could do a layout that takes hours and you hate it. So it's all a spectrum, it's all over the place, and yeah. Now I am going to tell you that I did not use my original title idea because I did not have any ease on this bad boy right here where I combined all of my thickers. Now I do have another package that has ease on it, but I am going to try to use up as many letters as I can without using the ease. I think that would be the best bet, right? Like I want to get the most bang for my buck. So if I've got to change around a couple titles to not use any, I'm not worrying about it. So it says Moving March. It was going to say March Moves because I thought that was cute, but Moving March works for me as well. I just write down California to Washington, and then I'm putting some journaling down about how I would follow Christopher anywhere, because when I'm with him, he is my home, and it's not necessarily a place, and no matter where we end up, even if there's snow, because if you know me, I love to look at the snow, I love to sit inside cozy and enjoy the snow, but I don't like to be out in the snow, and I don't like to be cold, and that about sums it up. Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching. Be sure to check out the playlist if I have yet to figure out how to get my stuff into the playlist this round. It's not cooperating. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys again real soon for another video.